Hey Kaijis, I'm going to do my Monday movie review. It's a little bit later than normal. I recorded it this morning and I was like, I looked horrible. I looked so tired. And I rewatched it. I was like, oh, I didn't get a lot of my ideas that I wanted to. So this is a Monday movie review of Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. So I've never seen Suicide Squad, and I'm also going to preference. I'm not a DC Comics person, so I'm not really that familiar with the comics, the comic book characters, or the DC movies. The only DC movies I've seen were Wonder Woman and Aquaman. And I haven't seen any of the Batman, like of this kind of like this universe. Like the last Batman movie I saw was with Christian Bale. So like with that in mind, I'm not like super knowledgeable with the comic books. And I mean, really the last time I ever watched any like Harley Quinn and Batman or Joker related stuff was that cartoon that was when I was growing up. So, and I think if you've never seen Suicide Squad or like Margot Robbie, I don't know, I felt like she did a good job as Harley Quinn. I know some people were really unhappy with her in Suicide Squad, and a lot of people were upset about her looks but I don't know, I felt like she did a good job, and was this movie perfect? No, like I actually went in this movie like not really having much expectations because everybody said Suicide Squad was like one of the worst movies ever. I'm like, it might be debatable. I've seen some pretty horrible monster movies, but they really weren't really well received, and so kind of like having that mindset going into watching this movie, I had really low expectations. A lot of people like wanted to call it like the next edgy Deadpool. I really didn't feel like it was like Deadpool. I don't feel like the R rating, like it has an R rating, but I didn't really feel like it was really that justified. I mean, there's some scenes where you're like, oh my goodness, but it didn't seem like it pushed the boundaries like into R rating. But I mean, there are some, a lot of butt-kicking scenes. I have to say that is definitely a big plus of this movie. There were a lot of cool fight scenes, and so props to them for that. And my friend Shep from Shep Talk, it's funny, I watched his review and he did make a really good point. It didn't really seem like it kind of like, it's called Birds of Prey, but really it should have been a Harley Quinn movie. I mean, it really, like, it seemed like Harley Quinn was so much in the focus, and that the Birds of Prey were kind of a secondary subplot. And so I really felt like it should have been like a Harley Quinn movie. And even like when I've talked to people, I'm like, oh, the Harley Quinn movie, because it just, to me, it's not like, it doesn't seem like the Birds of Prey were like the forefront of like the main plot point. So that is another like criticism of the movie, but I really don't think that it was completely horrible. Like I think it did really poorly in the box office. I think it's just a lot of people are like, I think still have a bad taste from Suicide Squad. I enjoyed myself. I thought it was a really fun movie. It didn't take itself seriously. I mean, and there is some girl power and some like, girls getting back at the boys, but there was also a lot of like, the villains were very much like very anti-male. I mean, anti-female, like really putting females down. And, and there was like, Ewan McGregor, I think, does a good job as the villain. He kind of portrays that kind of smart but, crazy type of villain. And I'm not familiar with Black Mask in the comics, but I don't know, Ewan McGregor's just awesome. I love Ewan McGregor. He's just amazing. He's Obi-Wan. But yeah, I mean, you really got that he was a bad guy. And I forgot his, like, not sidekick, what's the word? Like, right-hand man was also very, very, very creepy and not a nice dude. And and then for the other girls, you know, they were all fine. Like, Black Canary, I was really super interested, you know, in Cassandra Cain. You know, like, you know, she was a young girl that they were trying to protect, and so you bonded with her. You know, came from a bad family, and she decided to steal something. I guess that's a spoiler. Oh, I forgot, spoiler alert. And so it was like, you know, I felt like the Huntress character was kind of like a last minute add-on. And then, oh, and then the cop. The cop, I don't know, I felt a little disconnected there. I mean, I liked her, but I just felt like, I don't know, I think they should have concentrated more on Harley. And, I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel like that's one way it could have been stronger. Just really focusing on Harley Quinn, and then, like, maybe introducing these other characters, like, more involved in her, like, how it affects her story. Not so much setting up the Birds of Prey, and like, because like it felt like it was like Harley Quinn and then kind of setting up the Birds of Prey as a subplot. Instead, I think they should just concentrate on like Harley Quinn's story and maybe just add a few of the other girls in the mix. I hope that makes sense. I don't know, kind of didn't make sense to me when I said it, but anyways, I would go see the movie again. I would like add it to my collection. So yeah, I mean, I think I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5 kaiju bites. I mean, definitely it does have issues. I mean, it's not the world's best movie, but I had fun with it. I think, you know, I think sometimes just, you know, that should be a criteria of watching a movie, is if you had fun with it. It doesn't have to be best picture of the year or, you know, best screenplay, but as long as you have fun with it. I mean, there was a lot, like, visually this movie was really fun. Oh, my favorite scene was her getting the egg sandwich. Like, if I could ever relate to any, like, a character in a movie, that was the scene. I was just like, you know what? I love my food. And that scene spoke to me. But anyways, guys, have you seen the movie? What do you think? Are you interested in seeing more of, like, Harley Quinn? I don't know anything about, like, the future of DC, besides, like, Wonder Woman 2 is coming out later this year, so I'm interested in seeing that. So anyways, I hope you guys will like and subscribe if you aren't already, and join us for future videos. Bye!